he advised Chunting to take a factory job that her school offered and look for a good husband. Chunting did as she was told. She packed her bags, stood at the school gate for one last photo with her roommates, and then walked to the bus station. On the bus, she messaged her first boyfriend, Jia Ming, asking what decision he had made for the next year. He said he was going to Tianjin for college. She wanted to text him, "Do we still have a chance?" but replaced it with a smiley face. She knew they didn't. The school assigned Chunting an internship in a local factory, producing pumping units used for drilling oil. 50 people, from the age of 18 to 24, half of them from the vocational high school, stood in 3 lines at the factory entrance, ready for their 6-month apprenticeship. Chunting and 2 other girls were picked to be a team. Their chauffeur, or supervisor, Chen, was a man in his early 30s whose face was covered with stubble. Each chauffeur led his new apprentices to a room in a small building separated from the main workshop. A woman whose hair wasn't covered with a blue cap like the others gave them their uniforms, a loose blue cotton jacket and trousers, and a blue cap. Chen sat down, lit a cigarette, and chatted with the women. Chunting noticed that black machine oil covered both of his hands, and that his fingers were hard and knobby, with skin far too worn and torn for a man his age. Through the room's small windows, she saw gray smoke belching so heavily from a chimney that it blurred the trees. This was not what she had imagined her job would look like, especially not when compared to the pages of a fashion magazine. Chunting showed me photos she had taken of the place, using a new cell phone her father had given to her as a graduation gift. The factory compound was made up of a row of red brick buildings, many stories high. Inside, vast machines used for different processes arranged for melting steel, pouring it into molds, polishing the finished product, and measuring their weight and size. 50 or 60 people worked on each floor. Orders from domestic and international companies were heaped haphazardly in her manager's in-tray. Demand had increased in recent years, and the factory now had 3,000 workers. Chunting worked from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., with an hour's break for lunch. There were no weekends off. When there were too many orders, they had to work night shifts to make sure the machines ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As an entry-level employee, Chunting was given the easiest job, in quality control. Chen Shifu taught her how to measure the components, which had to be accurate down to the nearest 100th centimeter. She had to use her fingers to touch the surface of the products to feel for any damage or holes. The loud, growling machines, along with often tight deadlines, made it impossible to ask questions. Chen Shifu would shout into Chunting's ears whenever he needed to explain something. The experienced workers earned 2,000 to 3,000 yuan per month at a time when the rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in town cost around 800 yuan per month. As an apprentice, Chunting earned a monthly wage of only 500 yuan, minus the lunch served at the canteen, which cost 3 yuan per day, and which was deducted before they received their paychecks. The factory also offered health insurance and the opportunity to join a pension, which many workers declined, because it would mean another 150 yuan deduction each month. Still, accidents happened, like when a woman's hair got caught in the machine and she almost had her head taken off. Chunting had never worked so hard. When she had lived with her parents, they looked after her, especially her mother, who did all the cooking and cleaning, including washing Chunting's clothes, even her underwear. Within a few weeks, before receiving her first paycheck, Chunting decided to quit. A friend had told her about a job at a wholesale shopping market. She needed to be there only to check the goods loaded in the van against the customer's orders, log items and their amount in a notebook, and operate the cash register. The salary was more than she was earning at the factory, and the work easier. But when Chunting started the new job,